love to learn too. And we're here with Dr. Hans Diehl, and we're going to learn about the CHIP program. We're going to learn about a bunch of stuff, but this information is being garbled through Facebook and YouTube. So it is up to you to make sure that you invite and you share and you like and you follow. You do all those things. Tell everybody, text them, let them know that the class is in session and the doctor is in the house. So I'm going to go ahead and record the conversation with Dr. Diehl, and then we're going to get started. We're going to start dancing, right, Dr. Diehl? Yeah.
All right.
No, we just have to wait for the music first. And so I want to tell you that today we're going to start from the beginning of the roots, the beginning of my roots when I first started learning about nutrition. This man had a lot to do with the passion that I bring nutrition to you today. So fasten your seatbelt because we're going to learn and grow together. It's time to dance, Dr. Diehl. Everybody, it's time to dance. Here we go.
I believe it.
Here we go. Listen to the music. Here we go.
The Lillian McDermott Show.
We love, we fear, bridges we burn, we make mistakes, then we live and learn. When life gets tough, and it seems like your best ain't good enough. If you're in need of hope, you know where I'll be right here. Right here, and when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here, waiting for
you. This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening and viewing friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who are tuning into the classroom for the first time, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friend, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, as you know, I am very passionate about taking back our life, taking back our health. Well, a while ago, back when the classroom started in 2011, it was all about taking a pill and the latest in pharmaceuticals and all that. That's how I grew up. But little by little, teachers came into my life and started teaching me things, new truths is what I call them. And one of those teachers is Dr. Hans Diehl. Dr. Diehl taught me that a fork could be a weapon of mass destruction or a tool to heal every cell in your body, and that we're in choice. And when something about him, I just fell in love with him. And we're reconnected, and I'm really excited about reconnecting with Dr. Diehl because that's how it started with me. And he created the CHIP program, or he was part of the CHIP program. And we're going to talk all about that and how health is so important. So it's called Complete Health Improvement Project. And he's been part of that project. But we're going to talk about how you can eat more and weigh less. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am grateful that Dr. Hans Diehl is here to do just that. Welcome, Dr. Diehl, to the classroom. Oh, you just muted yourself. Hold on a second. There you go. Oh, you just, hold on. Go ahead, hit the mute button one time. There you go. Don't touch it.
Oh.
There you are.
This is probably the hardest thing of the whole interview, right? To
Yes.
push the right button at the right time.
That's right.
It is absolutely phenomenal to being with you and to see your energy. And what you do for people is really mental health at its very best.
Thank you.
You're positive, you're optimistic, you are affirming people, and you give people a safe place to meet.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet, Dr. Diehl. You impacted my life when I learned about, because I love to eat. And why not eat more and weigh less? Not gain all the weight. It's all the things that we're bringing on to. And it was eating mindlessly. We eat mindlessly. And you remind people that there's a purpose for everything we do. There's a purpose for everything we eat, and how we can be your age or age older than you and still be healthy after all these years. Share a little bit about your background, Dr. Diehl, and what led you to your passion about a healthy lifestyle.
Well, Lillian, I grew up in post-War II Germany. We didn't have anything at the time. And as I look back now, maybe that wasn't all that bad, because we didn't have the junk foods. We didn't have all the excesses that we have today. And maybe I was set up on a fairly good dietary program, because we had to basically live from the food that we could grow in the garden. So I grew up on fruits and vegetables and whole grains and legumes. And these are the very foods today that are being promoted by most of the credible health researchers. You want to live a long life, you want to live a healthy life, you want to have a full life. That's what you want to do. Eat foods as grown, foods as they come in nature.
Yes.
And you are not going to have to worry about pushing away from the table. I can't eat this, I have to count calories. These fad diets, no, just be very, very much involved. If you want to lose weight, eat more. Sounds all right?
That sounds great. That's my recipe for success, right?
Yeah.
So today we're giving away 2 of Dr. Diehl's books. He's going to be sending it to you. I want one too. So the book, why don't you go ahead and show it to everybody? It's called Health Power, Health by Choice, Not by Chance. Health by Choice. There you go. Health by Choice, Not by Chance. And that is the book back in 2011 that I remember it now, that was the book that I was gravitating to, because I love to eat. I love to eat. So let's talk about this eating, this style of eating, Dr. Diehl. What would you say? Oh, and by the way, 2 books we'll be giving away, but only in the United States. So for those of you from other parts that are listening, I'm so sorry, but today the giveaway are 2 from the United States. So claim your health. You can claim your health anyway. 407-373-5959. Text me that number, and in 2 days I will draw 2 names so that you can start taking your health back. And it's not by chance. It's by choice. So let's talk about the CHIP program and why the CHIP program became so important, and why you were a part of it.
Well, the CHIP program really has nothing to do with chips, right? I mean, it's not to eat more chocolate chips or electronic chips. It has to do with the complete health improvement program. It is a program that provides a comprehensive, intensive education to help people understand that how you use your fork will determine your health and your disease. It will determine how long you live to a large extent and how short you live. We have so much power that we have not really fully realized. We thought that somehow there's some kind of a big God up there that pulls the plug. Well, wait a minute. Maybe there is, but there's also another thing, and that is we can do much to help ourselves to have a full, healthy, and long life. Just do a few things. Be careful about smoking, be careful about excessive alcohol, caffeine, and begin to eat more foods as they come in nature. When you do this, you can eat large amounts of food, and that's what we have been teaching people through the CHIP program. We have some 100,000 people now around the world that have participated and graduated from the 40-hour education program of how to take charge of your health by making simple choices, simple diet, simple exercise, walking, simple sleeping patterns, get your 7-8 hours of sleep, and just be a nice person. Yeah. These are the ingredients.
That's a great ingredient.
Yeah, and be optimistic about life, like what you're doing. Hey, you can do it. The best is yet to come, right? Embrace it, live it.
That's right.
So that's what the CHIP program is, and it has been a great professional joy for me to see people turning around their diseases that medical care cannot touch. People are always stunned when they find out Heart disease, oh, I have bypass surgery that will take care of it. It doesn't.
Tell them more. Tell them more, Dr.
It
Diehl.
doesn't solve the problem because those narrowed arteries begin to clog up again. So you got veins taken from your leg, stitched into your coronary artery tree, and they begin to clog up again with cholesterol and fats and everything else. You got to make some lifestyle changes and take care of the roots of the problem. The same thing with diabetes. Do you realize that probably 70-80% of our diabetics in this country right now, type 2 diabetics, could be off pills in 4 to 8 weeks. All they have to do is make a change in their lifestyle and do what we basically do for how to lose weight. Eat more foods as they come in nature. They're high fiber foods. They're magical. Beans, lentils, peas. They're magical for diabetic patients because these are high starch foods, but these are unrefined starchy foods. These are starchy foods that have all the fiber in it, and that slows down the conversion to blood sugar. And so people doesn't understand this, and we've kind of missed the point, I think, in medicine.
No,
It's
true. It's true. And it's because we've been, when we watch television, we're being programmed. From the moment we're born, we're being programmed. And then our parents that were programmed by the system program us, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. And I honestly can say that if we wanted to end obesity and end disease, if we started with our children, like with you, you're a great example of how, you said we didn't have the luxury of all these foods. But look at how it's helped you. And look at how you are helping so many other people by returning them to the diet that you started off with, because perhaps maybe there weren't that many means to have all the what's the word that I'm trying to use, that's just absolutely decadent. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
The decadent food.
I mean, you know the stories. You have heard the studies from Dr. Esselstyn and other people too. What happened in Norway, right, during World War II, right? The Nazi hordes came into Scandinavia, occupied these countries, and the example now is Norway. 1939. It was difficult. It was difficult to find people that didn't have problems with the chronic diseases. And then the Nazis came in and they took all the livestock from the people. And the people had to live on very simple foods. They had to go back to their gardens, begin to grow garden foods. And they began to eat those simple foods, while the Nazis took all the livestock, the cattle, the ducks, the chickens and everything else, the eggs and the cheese. And what's happened? Over the next 2-3 years, heart disease rates dropped dramatically in Norway. I mean, Dr. Esselstyn always says the Nazis didn't come into Norway to be health promotion specialists. But in a way, they forced the diet to change. And because of that, and then people said, well, who knows why these heart disease death rates came down so rapidly? Well, let's see what happens when the war is over. The war is finished. The people go back to their traditional diet, and the heart disease rates go up again. The diabetes goes up again. The weight goes up again. The way we eat has a lot to do with our level of health. And, that's then a clear illustration that heart disease could actually be diminished in its death rates. It's a clear indication that we teach in the CHIP program that you don't have to be hypertensive. 80% of the people with high blood pressure problems could be off these medications again. And usually what happens when you are diagnosed with high blood pressure, you take one medication. After 3 months, it's 2 medications. After 6 months, it's 3 medications. And then before you know it, you have to take medications for the side effects of the blood pressure medications. I mean, I'm at the medical school here, so I mean, I see what happens there. We do our very best medically to take care of acute illnesses. Emergency care, we're top notch. When it comes to chronic diseases, once you have diabetes for the rest of your life. Once you have high blood pressure, you have blood pressure for the rest of your life. Once you have heart disease, you have heart disease, the disease risks for the rest of your life. You haven't really turned the program off. The program is how we eat, how we live. How we live determines how we die.
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
I don't know. After you were in the classroom, or back then it was the radio show. Once you were in the radio show, it really opened my eyes to the fork. It really opened my eyes to the choices. And I was eating vegan at the time. I was raw vegan at the time. I learned that in Hippocrates Health Institute, and and all other places that I learned how to prepare foods and everything. But I also work in the medical industry. I'm a marketing rep. And at the time, I was at a convention, and because of the show, I would go around to look for the new, the latest, and the greatest in natural. And so that became my passion. And like all the frequencies and all the people that were healing naturally, those booths were empty. And so I would give them my card, tell me more about this, let me know more about this. And I started bringing people on to the classroom that were doing more of the natural holistic. But then back to that place, I went over to the other side, the far corner, where all the people were. That was the pharmaceutical group. And the lines were endless. There was so much alcohol and so much excitement and there were lines to get the medications. And I got so upset. And I said, people just want to take a pill instead of taking responsibility for their life.
True.
And all of a sudden that became my registered service mark. You could take a pill or you could take responsibility. Now, when somebody is in a situation where they need to be rescued, I say, do whatever it takes, right? But then after that, we must change our mindset about food. How do you help people, Dr. Diehl? How do you help them change that mindset of the fork and how the fork could be a weapon of mass destruction or a tool to heal every cell of your body? How do you do that?
Well, in our CHIP program, we do it in a community setting. When people meet together and they learn together, they have mutual support. They don't feel like they have to swim against the current of the culture, which is self-destructive, all by themselves. They do it as a group. And so when they do this, they begin to understand, you mean, oh, wait a minute, I can eat more and I can lose weight.
Yeah,
that's counterintuitive. That doesn't make sense. Now, is this some kind of a snake salesman offering something here? No. Let me give you an example. Did you know that you can take 14 ears of corn to get 1 tablespoon of corn oil out of it? And you see what happens now as we have industrialized processes that remove the corn oil from the corn, we throw all the good stuff of the corn away and we eat the corn. And that corn oil then goes into making potato chips and corn chips. And do you realize that when you have 1 tube of Pringles, potato chips, you have about 1,000 calories. That's just 6 ounces. Do you realize that this 6 ounces of potato chips, my medical students told me they can finish on the average in 13 minutes. But do you know when I asked them, how many potatoes would you have to eat to get 1,000 calories? And they said, we don't know. We don't take nutrition in medical school. I said, okay, I'll tell you, to get 1,000 calories as potatoes, as they come in nature, you have to eat 9 medium-sized potatoes. That's also 1,000 calories. So you have a small volume here of food, the potato chips, 1,000 calories, loaded, high caloric density. On the other hand, you have the way it was designed by a master designer, 9 potatoes, 1,000 calories. And so I asked my medical students, well, tell me, how long would it take you to eat those 1,000 calories, those 9 potatoes? And they looked at me and said, well, I can eat those potato chips, 1,000 calories in 30 minutes, 9 potatoes, probably 9 days. Do you see? That's it.
Yep.
See, when you eat food as it comes in nature, it has a lot of fiber with it. It has a lot of water with it. And you cannot really overeat calorically because you can only hold 4 cups of food in your stomach. Now you see, but if you have these 6 ounces of potato chips, when you have these, well, any kind of junk food, They're all packaged very, very tightly. Volume is small, but calorie number is high. Then you are usually in trouble because you very easily overeat and eat and eat again. And then you begin to understand also that these food manufacturers have known how much sugar and salt and fat to put into these products so as to begin to hijack your brain center where you have your pleasure center, and you cannot stop. They even tell you when you buy
You can't just have one.
that you can, once you start, you cannot stop. Once you plop it, is that what they say?
I think it's you can't just have one. Once you eat one, you can't just have one. It's like the Pringle commercial. I think hey, anybody can tell us what the Pringle commercial is saying. I'm sure everybody can do that. But that's what
I know.
What?
Once you pop it, you cannot stop it.
That's a new one. That's it.
And then you have these snacks. These are basically snack foods. They're very low in nutritional value, but they're high in quotes taste. We have become corrupted in our taste. And so, we have learned that the larger the snacks, the larger the slacks. Because you have a concentrated form of calories.
Yeah.
There's no nutritional value to these kind of foods. About 44% of all the calories we eat in America today are empty calories. They're devoid of nutritional value. It's just hyper palatable. Right. And we are so stressed out. We no longer cook. We don't even know how to cook anymore. And, we are in a society which makes it very easy to reach out. And once it's in the house, it's in the mouth, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. And once it passed the lips, it goes to the hips.
Yeah.
So I want all of you, show up your book. We're giving 2 of these books away. It's called Health Power, Healthy by Choice, Not by Chance. Dr. Hans Diehl is giving 2 of these books away. It's only for the United States because he's actually going to send them to you. And so write it. If you're watching on Facebook, claim it on the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, claim it as well. And then text me at 407-373-5959. If you're listening on podcast, just text me 407-373-5959. On Monday, I will take I'll take your name and I'll put it in the winner's basket, because when you claim it, you're a winner regardless. And then I will draw 2 names, and those 2 people will win these books. So today we're talking to Dr. Hans Diehl. He was kind of my wake-up call when I first started learning about nutrition and the importance. I've always thought that I ate well. But when you have calories that are empty calories, and I love to eat. I eat more than my husband. So I love to eat. I'm Spanish, and we love to put flavor, and I cooked with a lot of oil. And so I had to retrain my brain. And it was amazing how quickly your body will return to what is healthy and delicious. So Dr. Diehl, would you like to share some of the stories that because you used to work, you were with Pritikin, and so you saw firsthand what a change of lifestyle would do, because you're a lifestyle doctor. So this change of, what are some of the stories that have stuck in your heart and that you forever will tell people to wake them up to?
I remember one lady came into the Pritikin program. They wheeled her in wheelchair. She had come from the East Coast. They had given her 6 months to live at the most. Heart disease. She couldn't walk the stairs anymore. It was over. She was 65 years of age.
Are you talking about Michael Greger's grandmother?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
She was there. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
And she comes in, and 3 weeks later, she's becoming one of the top walkers in the program. Remember, no more chest pain, no more pain on her legs, the claudication. She's a new person, and she lives another 30-some years.
She saw her grandson graduate.
Correct.
Because of her. She saw, because Michael's been, Dr. Greger's been in the classroom like 3 or 4 times, and he told that story. I didn't know you knew
that
you were there. That's awesome.
And just to think that he was inspired by the success of his grandmother, And he wanted to become sort of, quotes, a Pritikin doctor. He wanted to become one of these new lifestyle medicine doctors. And look what he has done.
Yes.
2 great books.
Yes.
I mean, 2,500 scientific references in each book. I mean, it's an encyclopedia, really.
Yeah.
And to think that it all happened because of an engineer by the name of Nathan Pritikin, who developed heart disease, and he didn't know what to do. And so he began to study the populations around the world and began to realize that there are many, many countries that don't have heart disease. What are they doing differently? And he came up with the idea that it was a very, very simple diet, less stress in life, no smoking, these kind of things.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so how wonderful that you were there and a part of that journey as well. Because we never know what's going to cause that change. And
correct.
What I loved about what you had to say was that it made it bite-sized chunks. Like substitute, instead of having a 6-ounce jar of Pringles, you can have 9 potatoes. And, it's like that speaks to my heart because I love to eat. Instead of having French fries, you can also, have the potatoes. I have an air fryer. And,
excellent.
My air fryer, my French fries are 0 oil and
correct.
they taste so good. So what are other things that we can substitute that instead of eating this, we can eat the substitution, which is much healthier and fills us up because it has fiber and all that?
Well, just think about the big revolution in the area of our diet really took place in the 1970s. That was a time when we shifted from slow food to fast food. That's when we shifted from eating at home to eating out. This is when we started eating, instead of beans, we would eat burgers, right? Instead of oats, we would eat Oreos. Instead of drinking water, we would drink soda pops. And then we were wondering, we were surprised that the people began to enlarge. Yeah. And we said, we need to do something about it. And so we came up with all these fad ideas with all these kind of strange concepts. You have to count calories. You have to push away from the table. You have to eat. You have to exercise more. If you exercise, then you can really control the weight. Not true. It's not a very effective way to control your weight. No. Do you know how many miles you have to walk to burn off the calories from one Krispy Kreme donut?
Well, how much do you have to walk? Because I don't eat that, but I'm sure somebody's going to be paying attention to this.
You have to mile 4 miles.
For one Krispy Kreme donut?
For one Krispy Kreme. And
what a great question to ask yourself. Do I want to walk 4 miles for this Krispy Kreme donut? Go ahead.
Yeah. Ask yourself, is that what you really want to do? And so you have to begin to recognize that the best way to control your weight is to eat more, but of the right foods.
Yes. And so let's talk about those right foods. You mentioned legumes, you mentioned vegetables. So let's talk about some of these great foods that we can add to our diet. Maybe people are struggling right now because they are addicted to their potato chips or their fast foods or their processed foods. But what are some of the things that they can add so they can start eliminating the things that they shouldn't, that doesn't support their body or the lifestyle that they want?
Yeah, there are probably 2 major things that we have to think about if you want to really control your weight and manage it more wisely and have a good time doing it, right? Mm-hmm. One is you have to begin to let go of these processed, ultra-processed foods. These are foods that are high in fat and high in sugar and high in salt, and they're very, very addictive. Mm-hmm. You cannot just eat one Oreo. You just can't. And so you have to begin to let these go by the wayside. When you go shopping, leave them on the shelf. But if you feel you need to have some, well, then bring some into the house, but keep it in small amounts and just sort of reward yourself after a while. Tonight I'm going to have 1 Oreo. And you say, well, can I really do this? Well, this is where then responsibility comes in. Do I really want to walk that many miles to get rid of this? See, these are the kind of...
Make a commitment. You say, for every donut I have, I will walk 4 miles. Then they'll look at the donut and go, pain. That's going to cause a lot of pain. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you go.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was one of the big changes in the 1970s. Then you had another major change over the last 50, 100 years, and that is we began to shift from plant foods to animal foods. And so since then, we have seen a dramatic increase in the consumption of animal products. As a matter of fact, the numbers are stunning. In 1910, we would consume about 124 pounds per person per year of animal products. Today, it's more like 200 plus pounds every year per person. And with that, you have to worry about the saturated fat, which promotes the liver to produce more cholesterol. When you have high cholesterol, you're a sitting duck for heart disease, not only for heart disease, but for the closing of most of your arteries. It affects the brain arteries. It affects the arteries to the eye. It affects the arteries to the ear. It affects the arteries to the heart. And if you're a man, it affects the arteries to the sex organ. And can you imagine? I mean, 40% of the people over 40s of age are struggling with ED.
And not their friend, Ed, but erectile dysfunction.
That's right. I mean, imagine. And people don't seem to understand. They think, well, I must have some kind of a guilt complex or something. Maybe I did something wrong in the past, and so I'm being punished. No. These are all expressions of an underlying disease process called atherosclerosis, or narrowing of the arteries. And when the penile arteries become narrowed down, I mean, these processes begin in utero. Can you imagine this?
Yeah.
We can take two women. One is on a very simple diet like you are on. Okay, Lillian?
Mm-hmm.
You have this lady, she's pregnant and she eats just like you do. And you have another lady, she's also pregnant and she eats like most American women do. Tragically, both of these babies are born stillbirths. They're not alive when they're born. And then what happens is somehow the babies become mixed up. And nobody knows whose baby is whose mother.
Yeah.
And so then the pathologist comes in and he says, I probably can answer that question. And he does the autopsy and he looks at the aorta of the babies. And he finds out that the aorta of one of the babies has already the beginnings of a little yellow fatty plaque buildup that you can visualize with an electron microscope. The other baby doesn't have. And she said, this must be the baby that belongs to the mother who follows the Lillian McDermott program. You see? I mean, it happens, it begins in utero. We think that heart disease happens when you're 70, 80 years of age. No. It's in utero. It begins early in life when you have 20-year-olds that were dying in the war in Korea. 20-year-old people, 77% of these people already had visually visible, with the naked eye, you could see the buildup of atherosclerotic plaques inside the arteries. Wow. Folks, this is a lifelong process, and food becomes very, very important. And once you understand this, you become sort of motivated. Maybe, I don't want to walk 4 miles for a Krispy Kreme. Maybe I don't need to have that sirloin steak tonight. I mean, it's 70% fat, and most of it's saturated fat, plus cholesterol is only found in animal products. Maybe I should cut back on those foods. So you begin to change your mind, you change your brain, you change from the inside out. You don't tell people no longer can you eat these foods. No, you say, have you thought about this? Do you know that your fork can be, like you said, an instrument of mass destruction? Or you can also use the fork properly and it becomes an instrument of health and healing. You can reverse heart disease. You can reverse high blood pressure. You can reverse diabetes. You can eat more of the right foods and you're going to lose weight.
That is the mindset that we talk about here, the mindset for healing spirit, mind, and body. And so I had mentioned to you that I want to take a little break here to thank my sponsors and to encourage all of you to continue with this mindset. As you know, the the classroom is being censored quite a bit and not being seen. It's being garbled. The algorithms are keeping us from being seen by a lot of people, or maybe people are seeing it, but we don't know they're seeing it. So I want all of you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com and make sure you subscribe to my website. That way, if someday you tune in and there's no classroom, you'll know where to go to. So please subscribe. And while you're there, like and follow me on all my social media, especially BitChute, because we're trying to gear that up. We're trying to get everybody to go there because we're very grateful to these platforms that allow this free content for you to learn and grow in this huge classroom, which I hope you are sitting there behind row 1 on the first row. And so I want to make sure that you are a participant. Like Dr. Hans Diehl's book says, healthy by choice, not by chance. Make these choices for yourself. While you are in whenyouneedafriend.com, check out my sponsors, because without my sponsors, there would be no classroom. And sponsors like Keep Me Safe Organics beauty products, I use their products from head to toe. First Alternative Care Telemedicine, $19.99 for the entire household, or 95, I think, or 99. The pharmacy in Merritt Island, they're taking that pill and putting it in compound so it doesn't go through your digestive system. You get 20% off when you mention my name. Also, we have Geyer Wellness Group in Florida and making you as beautiful on the inside out. We have Right Way Health and Wellness from Georgia, teaching you about how to take your health back. These are all wonderful, wonderful practitioners. Dr. Jennifer Gramuth. And we also have my affiliate programs, which is the Shop Now Bag, Ground Therapy, Brain Tap, which helps you balance your brain so that you can calm yourself down and make those better choices and sleep better. First Alternative Therapy, which is Avasia, microcurrent, that will help you with frequencies, heal your body as well. So those are different ways that our sponsors are helping the classroom. So figure out ways that you can help my sponsors as well. And finally, you could become an enrolled student in the classroom by providing for our time, talent, or treasure. So whether it's $1 or $1,000 a month, whatever you can donate to the classroom, because we truly exist in the generosity of the people. So figure out ways that you can be a part to watch this grow, help us grow, spread this information, because for many of us, this information is being suppressed. That's why we worked really hard to get Dr. Hans Diehl in the classroom, because this is what triggered my passion. Just to know that I can make these choices and I'm 57 now, I'll be 58 in a couple of months. And I feel better now than I did when I was in my 30s. So you can reverse whatever is going on in your life. So make these choices for you. And also Dr. Diehl, if you want to learn more about Dr. Hans Diehl, you can go to hansdiehl.com, and his name is spelled differently. And so if you go to whenyouneedafriend.com, just click on my blog on his name and it'll take you to hansdiehl.com. So, there are no excuses. No excuses. Today, if you're claiming your health back, you also need to text me at 407-373-5959. Claim your health back. We're going to pick 2 people on Monday to win Dr. Diehl Show Your Beautiful book that you're going to be sending to everybody. That's right. Health Power. Healthy by choice, not by chance. This is a book that was written in 2011. You probably are meeting Dr. Hans Diehl for the first time. And I remember how special that was. And he kept coming back in the show because I wanted to learn more. And that's what we're about. We're about transformation. Instead of taking a pill, you take responsibility. And the word responsibility is empowerment and freedom. How would you like to be away from your drugs, away from the sugar? Rewrite the program. And so I want to also encourage you to go to my workshop that I do. And next workshop is April 16th through the 18th. It's called the New Truth Series, I Am the Solution. You have the answers. And now you've got to clear your body out so that you can hear the solution. Okay, so today we're talking with Dr. Diehl. I'm so grateful to see you and get reconnected with you, Dr. Diehl.
Well, I'm too. I said to my wife, this lady is something else. I said, she is the caffeine for people. And that's a good caffeine, right?
Yes, that's the nicest compliment I've had all week long. No one has complimented me like compared me to caffeine.
Oh.
And I don't drink caffeine. I don't have any caffeine.
But you have only positive side effects. You see, you turn people around. You turn people on to claim their birthright. And their birthright is to have a long and healthy life that can be used to be of service to other people. I'll give you a couple of examples of what I mean. Two ladies, one is Brenda, 308 pounds, comes into the CHIP program, and 7 years later, she's 175.
Wow.
And she said, well, Hans, I'm so sorry. I'm not quite ideal weight yet, but I'm working at it. I'm chipping away. I'm doing my best. I'm learning new concepts. My mind is getting clearer. I make now the right choices much easier. Okay, so that's Brenda. Then you have another person, and she is, she called me up the other day from New Zealand. She said, I have been in your CHIP program in New Zealand. And she said, it is the first time in 60 years now, the first time in 60 years that I reached my ideal weight. I've gone from 308 to 138 pounds.
Wow.
And she said, it has been an incredible journey, 10 years. 10 years ago, I met you. I became involved in the CHIP program. And since then, my mind has been changed. The mind has helped me to stay with the program. She said, I was a diabetic for 22 years. I was on insulin and metformin. No more. It's gone. She said, I have no more medication whatsoever, no more blood pressure medication. I'm a new person. She said, I used to see two cars parked next to each other, and there was a certain distance between the two cars, and I knew I couldn't pass through there. So I just stayed back. I had to go around the cars. She said, now, it took a little time actually, because the mind has to catch up with the body size. Yeah. And she said, there was a time when I saw these two cars and I saw the pace there in between. And I thought to myself, no. I had lost over 150 pounds, but I thought to myself, no. I cannot pass through there. I'm too heavy. Because the mind had to catch up with the fact that she had learned that she had lost weight. So this takes time. She has done it. She said, now, I was really amazed. She said, I used to always wear black clothing. Now I'm wearing bright yellow.
Oh,
she said,
that's good.
And I wanted to call you because for the first time, I've been wearing shorts in my life.
That's wonderful.
And she said, with all the diabetes for 22 years, I should have probably developed diabetes related kidney disease by now. I should have had heart disease by now. Dementia or liver disease. These are all things that happen with obesity. 308 pounds, imagine, right? She said, Hans, I have no problems. My liver is doing just fine. My kidney tests are normal. I just live on a very simple diet. I do my 60 minutes of walking every day. And then she said, let me read this to you. I wrote it down. Yeah. She said, my middle name is Joy. And now I experience the joy that comes by being free as God deals with my lies, with my shame, and my judgment.
Wow.
That was my life.
Wow.
Covering up, black clothing, hiding, lies, no dates, shame, judgment. And now I'm a new person, 138 pounds, and I love myself. I'm strutting my short pants now.
How does that make you feel, Dr. Diehl, to be a part of that? You had said, Lily, you're helping people change. Well, I'm a vessel. I can't help anybody change. True. They've got to change themselves. And they have to make that choice. Because if they're just repeating what I say, then they're just repeating what I say. But if they believe it and they start living it, it's a totally different thing. I have no power over that. But how does it feel to be that vessel by which you are creating change in the world?
Well, I'm 75 years of age, but, I feel like I'm
You would never know.
50, and I'm engaging myself. I work every day, at least 8, 9, 10 hours, because when you love what you do, it's not work. It's giving of yourself, and to have the feedback coming back to you. Like when you said, well, about 5, 6, 7 years ago, I heard Dr. Diehl speak about how do you use your fork? Are they weapons of mass destruction, or are they instruments of health
That
and
pierced
healing?
my heart. That's right.
This is the joy that comes to us. And there is no greater joy, especially being in the health professions. There's no greater joy to see that I can help people who become to be jubilant in that they say, I no longer need my blood pressure medication. My doctor took me off. I don't need any longer the cholesterol lowering medications, which didn't work anyway, really. And I am just free. I'm free to be free.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it's a beautiful feeling. It really is. So I had mentioned before, what are some other choices that we can make instead of that donut? I love module dates. I make the best desserts that are whole food, plant-based, that are, I always say my food is to live for.
Because, it's good.
When you see how people, oh, this is to die for. Yeah, it is. It is to die for.
Well, let me give you an example. I just had a visit with Joel Foreman, and he was telling me, he said, Hans, the best ice cream replacement, the best ice cream in the world is the one that you can make yourself. I said, really? What do you do? He said, Hans, if you have a Champion juicer or a Vitamix, something like this. He told me, he said, if you have a Champion juicer, I said, I do. Well, he said, then listen. He said, you use 4, 5, 6 bananas, you peel them, you put them in your freezer compartment, and you let them sit there for 24 hours, and then you take them out and you push them through the Champion juicer, and the banana comes through like a creamy thing. And then you do something else. He said, if you happen to have some macadamia nuts or any kind of nuts that you want to use, but macadamia nuts, he said, are my favorites. Okay, so if you have that extra money for that macadamia nut, do it. Otherwise, use some other nuts. And he said, I just grind them up in a coffee grinder. That's the only way I use my coffee grinder, he said. You grind up these nuts and you mix them in there and you add some vanilla drops. And he said, it's divine.
It is. It's nice cream. It's nice cream. And it's
yeah, it's good.
so what I do is because I had a sugar addiction. If I look back, I tell a story, and I've shared the story before. My husband and I went on a cruise, and there was a guy that was making cotton candy. And that, of course, brings me to my childhood, fond memories. When my father would buy us cotton candy or apples or whatever, the candy apples, and cotton candy was my favorite. So they made for me a 6 foot, but it's probably 5 foot tall cotton candy. And I was like, walking around, like trying to balance this thing out in the cruise. And we sat down to watch a show. I ate the whole whole thing. I would have had to swim back to shore from that cruise in order for me to but those are the things we do to ourselves. If I continued doing that to myself, I would end up like my mom. My mom has been a wonderful teacher of what not to do. My mom has advanced stage dementia, has had diabetes for a long time in her life.
Sorry to hear that.
But you know what? I love her where she's at, and I look for the beauty in dementia too. But that's not what she would have chosen for herself.
Right.
So I have the privilege of saying, and I'm sure that if my mom had to choose it for herself or give it to me, she would choose it for herself. But I choose different. I choose differently. I was able to learn from that. We don't need to have, they're not necessary diseases. They're man-made diseases because of the choices we made. And that visual of that fork became so important to me that I've used it a lot, and I've quoted you a lot since then. because we have got to stop this
Yeah.
mindlessness.
Yeah, that's true. We have become prisoners of our culture.
Mhm.
We've slithered into that. We don't really make those food choices because we want to get sick. No, we are not aware of it. They're very palatable, so it's very easy to overdo it. I want to leave you one final idea here in terms of food choices that will help people to lose weight.
Mhm.
Make it part of your daily habit to have one huge salad.
Yeah.
At least one huge salad. And that's what I do. I have a salad. I have this Boston butter leaf. It's a wonderful salad. And then I usually put some cucumbers in. I put in some tomatoes. I put a few nuts in, and I put a few slices of apple in there. And my PS, the piece of no resistance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's going to be my mango. I get a mango, I cover it up into these little I dice it, and I put the mango into the salad. And I have a very simple dressing. It's basically lemon juice and a few herbs that I put in there. And I tell you, it really gives you a feeling of you are in charge. You're not starving. You're filling yourself up. And as a body, when the other foods begin, the stomach begins to fill up, it stretches, and there are special receptors inside the stomach wall that send a message to the brain, to the apostat, that says, hey, I'm full down here, shut down the appetite, and you don't feel like you have missed anything.
Yes.
You're just having full satiety, and you're grateful, and you say, Lord, thank you for the abundance of good food, mostly fruits and vegetables and whole grain products and lots of beans and lentils and peas, and have a few nuts from time to time, and have lots of water, 8 glasses of water to drink to flush the system out. That's the way to go. And when you do this, you feel happy, you feel satisfied, and you feel on top of the world, and you feel like Lillian McDermott.
Well, I hope they feel better than that.
Oh.
I hope they feel like them. I hope they feel like the new them, because you see, this is what people don't know. When I first started doing the show, I thought I ate really well and I was pretty healthy. But when I was challenged to eat raw vegan for 1 month, 4 days after that, I was challenged on the show. 4 days after that, I started feeling really good. But the thing was, is I didn't think I felt bad. I didn't even know I could feel better. See, that's the thing that we forget, that we could feel better. We get used to our misery.
True.
And we think
True.
that that's it. So if you are happy and you think that you're a good eater, just try, the natural form of food, like what Dr. Diehl says, as close to nature as possible. And
foods as grown, right?
As grown, that's right.
And be a little careful how you prepare these foods. Cut back on the sugars and the salt and the fats. They should be sidelined. They're special items that you use occasionally, more like a condiment. But in our society today, everything swims in fats and oils and sugar and salt. It becomes very addictive. And therefore, we have to be very, very understanding that large people, they've just slithered into that. We should not point our skinny fingers at a person that is a little bit rotund. They probably didn't know what else they could have done different, but now they know. Stay with the Lillian McDermott Show. Get reinforced regularly in the classroom there, and you too can be a winner that is eating more and weighing less.
That's right. That's a great final word. And for those of you, show the book, Dr. Diehl. The book is called Health Power, Health by Choice, Not by Chance. And 2 of you will win. Now, make sure you text me 407-373-5959 and claim. Oh, someone texted right now. Somebody claims the book. So we'll pick 2 people on Monday. I'll put all your names in a winner's basket and we'll draw 2 names and hopefully it is yours. And Dr. Diehl, you basically say the magic of better choices. You say reduce empty calories, reduce animal products, eat more whole foods, increase your daily activity, tie into a professional, social resources, for the long term of your success. So thank you so much, Dr. Diehl, for everything that you do. And for those of you who are listening on podcasts, make sure you share this with a friend. This is simple. Let's stop complicating health, right, Dr. Diehl?
Thank you for providing the caffeine for people without all the bad side effects. You have a wonderful program. Continued success to you, Lily.
Sweet. You're so sweet. Well, this isn't the last time. Now that we've got all the kinks worked out, we're going to get you back, because I really do want to talk about that healthy by choice instead of by chance, and really dive into, what foods can we substitute? To have 14 ears of corn. Who can have 14 ears of corn and just have compared to 1 tablespoon of corn oil? That's just not necessary. I'd rather eat the 14 ears of corn that are non-GMO, by the way, organic. So Dr. Diehl, thank you so much. Again, if you guys want to tune in to Dr. Diehl, hansdiehl.com is in my blog. So just click on it and you'll find all the wealth of information with Dr. Diehl. And please remember, we'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott and Dr. Hans Diehl wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Oh, now you remember.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.
Okay, for those of you who are hanging on, I know that you're claiming your life. I see that you're claiming it, but you also need to text 407-373-5. Oh, there you go. There's another text. Okay, so text it so that you have a great opportunity. Listen, if you think, oh, why should I never win anything? Well, that's because you don't try. So at least text 407-373-5959. Your name will go into the winner's basket so that you have a chance to win. I want a book too, so I'm going to claim me for that book, Dr. Diehl. Is there anything that you would like to share before we go for the Teacher's Pet Corner? And if you guys have any questions for Dr. Diehl, you can always ask with a Q and then ask the question afterwards. Is there anything that you would like to say that we may not have covered during our classroom today? Is there anything that you would like to add? Oh, you muted yourself. Hold on a second. No, just hit it one time. There you go.
You can become anything you want to become. Just set your goals high and strive for it. And you will see it becomes a new path, a natural pathway for you. It develops into a routine and it becomes so easy. And you wonder why you didn't do it earlier.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to thank all of you. Thank you, Dr. Diehl. It's been nice reconnecting with you after all these years. So much good has come from those lessons that you gave us back then. It was a radio show back then. Now it's a classroom. And we are stronger because of teachers like you in the classroom. And so I want to encourage all of you to listen to this audio or video over and watch it over and over again until you understand that health is simple and it's a God-given right, but you got to put into the body what it needs. You would never put sand in your gasoline tank and wonder, why isn't my car working? Right? Right. So the same thing with us. We have an owner's manual. It's called the Bible. And in the Bible, it talks about the CHIP program. I don't know if you know this, Dr. Diehl, but the CHIP program is in the Bible. It's in there.
Lots of walking, lots of water.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Good, healthy food as nature, as God intended it to be. So I want to thank all of you. Make sure you claim it. You text it, because once we finish the classroom, I don't know that you're claiming it. So if you want the book, claim it. That means you really mean it, because everybody wants something, but they're not willing to do the work. The work is easy once we reprogram you to your taste buds, right?
True.
And so thank you so much for watching. Let me make sure that there aren't any questions. Let me go to Facebook now. I'm looking on YouTube. So if you have any questions. Okay. So No questions, because Dr. Diehl, you are very good about explaining things and making it simple. And so thank you so much. And we'll get in touch with you. I'll have Brooke get in touch with you with all the winners, the 2 winners, and my name, of course. So thank you all for watching today. And we'll see you soon. So keep tuning in and listen to this and watch it over and over again. So we'll see you soon. Okay. Oh, it says we're still live.